The Eagles are underdogs again. Their backs are against the wall. And they're going to the Big Easy to play the hottest team in football. It ain't going to be easy, huh? Adrian Fedke is here. Yeah, I just messed that up. James Worthington is here, and I am here as well. This Eagles team at the moment, my God. What do you even say?
I mean, there's really nothing to say, man. I remember walking out of that stadium Monday night, and it was just the whole stadium. All the air was let out of it, and nobody really was talking. People were pissed off. Looks, it felt like the season was over, and it's a game that we thought we were going to win. I thought we were going to win. I thought we were going to blow them out, and we lost to the stinking Cowboys in the fashion that we did. The offense looked bad in the first half. The defense couldn't stop anybody in the second half. It's kind of been the narrative all year, man. And we're 9 games in, and there's no excuses anymore. This team is what they are. They're mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the question can be asked. I mean, if they lose Sunday, is the season over? The fact that they're in the NFC East, it isn't. But like from what I've seen this year, and I'm not seeing changes, it's hard for me to envision that they are going to win the NFC East.
Yeah, man. I mean, I keep waiting for this offense to start clicking. I keep waiting for the defense to kind of step up and make the plays they did last year, and we just can't get anything going. Being in the NFC East, it does help our chances, but really the way we're playing right now, it doesn't matter. Washington will get to 9 wins, Dallas will get to 9 wins. We're looking like we're 8-8 at best right now, and it pains me to say that, man. I mean, we'll get into it, but wow, I'm shocked. I'm surprised we're here at week 11.
It's shocking. It's gut wrenching, and I'm exhausted. I know the viewers are exhausted because everybody's watched my Eagles stuff all week. Nobody cares. It's everyone's just so depressed and just they don't want to deal with it. And now you're looking at this game, and it's like they're gonna go to 4-6. So can you get to 9-7? I mean, that's the thing. It's like you're gonna lose to the Rams. You're gonna lose to the Saints. How are you going to win all of these games? Like right now, they lost to Dallas at home. Dallas, they stink. How do you expect them to win a Week 16 game against Houston at home with those weapons?
I mean, not with the way our O-line's protecting against Houston, man. There's no way. I mean, we haven't even won, I don't think, back-to-back games all season. So this team is just – as much as you think they're going to figure it out, as much as, at least I have this small hope in me that they will get it together, everything they show you week in and week out points to that they're just mediocre. They're not going to get any better. These problems are going to keep going, keep continuing. Even, all we say every week is we got to execute better. We got to play better. We got to prepare better. Well, you can talk all you want, but if you're not doing it, people get sick of hearing it. And that's where the city's at right now. Just listening to the radio all week, how I felt, how my friends feel. People are pissed off. They're frustrated, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the bye and like how you just didn't make any changes. You see Amari Cooper getting snaps in his first game. Golden Tate has a bye to get implemented into the offense. He only gets 4 targets. Like, that's bullshit. Same old loosey-goosey shit with the defense, even though when I did watch the tape, they did play tighter than I thought they did, in terms of the cornerbacks. And then the offense, I mean, it's the same old shit all season. Offensive line continues to struggle. Josh Adams, it's like they say they're going to give him more carries, and then he gets 7. It's all season long. It's the same fucking shit. And it just changed.
Dude, I don't know what of that defense was doing where they were dropping like 6 guys back to the first down marker, basically. But like, people were getting pissed when we saw that too, because it's like that's not an NFL defense. Like, what are we doing? Like, at least I don't remember really seeing that too much. So that pissed me off. I mean, Big V, not looking good at all. Jason Peters, done. He's absolutely done.
They need to replace the entire left side of the line.
It's so frustrating, man. I can't believe it. I can't believe we're at this point in the season where it's like almost like it's back to normal. Last year was a mirage. Yippee, we got our 1, and now we're back to being mediocre, and it sucks.
All right, so let's get into this game, I guess. They're going to be without Jesus Christ, I can't even think, dude. They're without Jalen. They're without Ronald Darby. they've got to defend Michael Thomas. They've got to defend Alvin Kamara in the slot and out of the backfield. This is the type of offense that the Eagles really struggle with, the quick passing game. Rasul Douglas struggled last week with Amari Cooper. It's not going to get better this week with Michael Thomas. We'll see how they kind of use Thomas in this game. But I will say this about Douglas. He struggles with the quick, jittery guys, and Cooper is just too quick for him. At least Thomas is like a big physical guy, but he's still going to have his way against Douglas.
Well, yeah, and Douglas, I mean, his feet, they've looked a little slow, and he's inexperienced, and Michael Thomas is an elite route runner. So, I mean, he's going to eat him alive if they get matched up. I mean,
Yeah.
Rasul Douglas just struggled in general last week. And, I mean, the Saints' O-line's been straight mauling people, too.
They might be the best offensive line in football right now.
Yeah, they might be, which is scary considering how talented the Saints are as a whole. It's almost like they're like us last year, man. Their O-line's playing great. They've got great quarterback play. They're rushing the ball. I mean, they look really good. This game is daunting. If I was Eagles secondary, especially with all these new guys in there, I mean, I would just go out there with no fear. I wouldn't be afraid to get bit on a deep ball. I'd be aggressive because nobody thinks you're going to win. Nobody's going to remember who the hell you are unless you make a big play. So this LeCrug or whatever his name is, Cravion, whatever. Put him out there. Let's see what he's got. Like, these guys, the two Sullivans, like, I don't even know who's out there anymore.
Shandon Sullivan, Trey Sullivan. Oh, man. Yeah. So there is like a silver lining to that because at least you get to have Avonte Maddox in the slot and you'll have Sidney Jones and then obviously Rasul Douglas. So from a talent evaluation standpoint, you can really take a good look at these guys in this game. Now, some people have been kind of going back to 2015 and saying that this game feels like the Patriots game. And, it does coming in because the Eagles have their backs against the wall and they're facing record-wise the best team in the NFL. The Patriots had just come off their first loss of the season the week prior when they played the Eagles and Chip Kelly. But if we remember in that game, they had a block return touchdown. They had a punt return touchdown and a pick six. That's 21 points from your defense and special teams. I mean, unless you're going to get that again, you're not winning this game.
No, I mean, yeah, you're going to basically need all that to happen. It was a small miracle when we beat New England back then. Nobody expected us to beat them back then.
Yeah.
And nobody expects us to win now. So I guess, like, if you have that, the backs against the wall mentality, sure. But, I mean, I just don't see it. Also, I mean, we got to play in the Dome. New Orleans is great there. I mean, they're coming off a pretty big win against Cincinnati where I thought, even without A.J. Green, that would be a close game. And I was like, oh, the Saints aren't going to win them all. I could see the Bengals putting up a fight. They freaking scored on every possession. Every single possession on the road. That's unheard of, man. Like, this offense is clicking. And we, it almost feels like how we felt. The Saints should feel how we felt last week. Like, with Dallas coming here reeling and us coming off a bye thinking we're going to get it together. Well, the Saints are rolling, and we look like our season's done. So, maybe. So, I've seen weirder things happen in football. A lot of things, it's all about basically that given day. And see, it comes down to maybe 4 or 5 plays a game sometimes. But, I mean, on paper, man, this just doesn't look good.
It does not.
I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. If they flex this game to the game of the week, we're going to get embarrassed.
There's a part of me that's like, okay, because I'm looking at it like this. Like, if they want to keep this game close, they do have like a recipe that they can go to because they lead, like they're up there in time of possession, and if they can sustain these long drives and keep the Saints off the field, maybe you can keep it within a possession for the entire game. So you're trying to make this like a 6 to 8 possession game. Well, 8 possessions was about as low as you're going to go. And 12 is about the average. And then if you have a great offense that likes to go up and down the field, maybe you get 14 possessions and even 16. So the Eagles are trying to really play 2 possessions a quarter, keep the ball for 5 minutes at a time. And that's the hope. But here's the problem with that. You don't have a running game to go to play like that. They have had a lot of these long sustaining drives this year, but it's going to be difficult. I mean, the Saints pass defense isn't good. it's just still hard for me to envision that they're going to go in there and, win this game. I mean, that's going to be the recipe to beat them. And you got to keep the ball for long periods of time, and you got to cause current turnovers, something that the Eagles have not done this year. Only 7 on the season, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the defense hasn't taken the ball away at all. I mean, our turnover margin, we're negative. It's just, like we talked about earlier, everything that they've been showing, we keep thinking they're going to get it together. They play good against the Jags, decent. They play good against the Giants. They come out and lay these eggs, man. I mean, it's not going to happen. We don't have a running game. We have a great quarterback, but we can't protect him. And Carson has made some mistakes this year. He's had to be better in some areas. If they go on the road, they play with no fear. You let Carson sling it around. They might keep it close, but I just don't see our defense being able to get the stops when we need to, especially against a back rolling like Drew Brees is, man. Like, historically, Drew Brees will give you 1 or 2 opportunities a game to get a pick. But this year, he's been on the money. He's been even better, where I was saying before the season, Brees is done. He can't throw downfield anymore. And, while some of that may be true, he sure as hell ain't done. He looks a lot better. He's probably the leading candidate, him and Mahomes, for MVP. So, I mean, he's just going to tear us apart. I'm excited to see how Jones plays, though. I do agree with you there.
Yeah, we'll see about that. And this Saints team, man. I mean, think about what they were a couple years ago. Even I think 2015, when these two teams played and the Eagles blew them out. That's when their defense was horrendous. They were kind of going through that change. Jimmy Graham got traded, and they tried to have this mini rebuild on the fly with Drew Brees at the end of his career, and it's worked out wonders for them because look at them.
Yeah, I mean, they struck gold with Kamara.
They struck gold with Kamara and obviously
and Lattimore.
Yeah, Lattimore. I mean, and
Michael Thomas is another one. Yeah, and they got rid of Brandon Cooks. I mean, they got rid of Graham, like you said. It's been impressive what they've been able to do to get build a contending team again. With I guess they had probably envisioned 2 or 3 years left of Brees. I mean, they probably the odds-on Super Bowl favorites this year, and Drew Brees is going to be 40. So, and the only team I know that has done that is Denver with a great defense and the Patriots. So, hats off to them, man. They got a good thing going down there, and who knows? They got to find another quarterback once Brees is out, but they're set. All the rest of the roster is set to compete for the next decade.
Yeah. And here's the reason why I don't think the Saints are going to have a letdown, because I know they just beat the Rams, and now you just put up a 50-burger on Cincinnati. The Rams are nip and tuck with them at the top of the NFC, so it's not like you have a margin here where it's like a 2-game margin where the Saints have a loss and say the Rams have 3 losses. That's not the case. So the Saints kind of have to keep winning, and it's not like this is a trap for them.
Well, they got to keep the pedal to the metal, man. I mean, for real, like Drew Brees is the leader of that football team, and he's very vocal still, even at his advanced age. But, he knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl, and he knows that if they get lackadaisical, if they aren't, as good in preparation in the week, this is the NFL. They're going to lose, and if you lose one game, boom, home field advantage is gone. And I think they know more than any team the Saints need home field advantage. If they have to go on the road in the playoffs, unless it's LA, it's probably going to be cold. And the Saints don't really play that good in the cold. I don't care, what their recent history is. I don't even know. But I just know that, historically they've struggled outside in the cold. And if you're a dome team, you want to play in your dome. You want the home field advantage. So, they look at this game. They're still on national TV in front of the entire country against the defending Super Bowl champions. And until the Eagles are eliminated, that's what they are. So I don't think they're going to take us lightly. They're going to be ready to play.
Yeah. Do you blame the offense or the defense more for this disaster of a season so far?
When I look at it as a whole, you have to say the offense because they're not scoring the amount of points they did last year, and the defense is still top 5, top 10 in points given up. I mean, in this day and age, if you average 22 points a game, you're going to be an average NFL football team, which is exactly what we are. The talent on the offensive side of the football is a lot better than 22 points a game. Obviously, everybody's saying we miss Reich and DeFilippo. Well, I think we really do, especially Frank Reich. He was the guy helping Doug game plan all the time. And you see how good Indy's doing down there. And while it's, that's not the end-all be-all, Frank Reich, it's a huge factor. But we have been in positions to win games as well. And the defense, it just seems like, has just not been able to make one play for us. So that's where they're getting the blame from. As a whole, they're putting together a winning effort, but it's the fourth quarter where they can't stop anybody. And the offense just generally as a whole has been bad, where they've kind of picked it up in the second half and made some adjustments. But that's kind of my answer. It didn't really answer your question, who I blame more, but that's the way I look at it.
I definitely lean more towards the offense because there's just a lot of areas where they've had dips in. I mean, the red zone, you talked about it, and the third down, there's been a dip. And first quarter scoring has been abysmal.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it's less than three points a game.
That is unbelievable compared to last year.
Yeah, they're dead last compared to being second last year. So you remember that they were always getting off to good starts.
The scripted plays.
Yeah, the scripted plays aren't working this year.
Frank Reich, man.
Yeah, and somebody made a point in my comment section, and I'm sorry, I forget who it was, so I apologize for it. But he was like, Mike Groh is this year's Steve Sarkisian, and he's right.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons stuck by Sarkisian, though, and there's some improvements, so let's hold out hope there. But I mean, the Eagles are going to make, if this season goes where the way I think we all think it's going, which is like 8-8 and missing the playoffs, maybe 9-7, and you lose in the first round, whatever. There's got to be some changes made, whether Howie goes out and gets a big name guy, whether there's different moves in the coaching staff or whatever. There has to be changes made, and I would hate to see you. I don't think they're going to fire Mike Groh after 1 year. But he's going to be damn well in the hot seat because if this,
I don't give a fuck. I'm getting rid of him.
I mean, Doug Peterson's. I'm not ready to say he's a bad coach because he won us the freaking Super Bowl. I don't care. Okay, you can give Frank Reich all the credit you want. Them two together, they were a great duo. Doug needs to find that next guy to groom. Because, it's a lot to coach an NFL team and call plays. And everybody has weaknesses. Sometimes he puts his blinders on, and that's where you need your right hand to come in and stay in your ear. And he doesn't have that this year. Someone I heard on the radio was saying, Mike Groh, after the interception, Mike Groh and Carson Wentz were on the bench looking at the smart pad or whatever the hell they're called, the surface. And Mike Groh was just watching Carson look at it. He wasn't talking to him. He wasn't coaching him up, nothing. And it's almost like he has too much respect for Carson, whereas Frank Reich was like his superior. It's like Mike Groh probably doesn't feel that way. When you're a coach, you just got to insert yourself into that position. I mean, Mike Groh's a young guy, and he's probably not fully confident in himself to be doing the job he should be.
Yeah, and I mean, from what it's always sounded like, I mean, he's never really been that great of an offensive mind. And
I haven't heard anything crazy about him or anything like.
It kind of what happened was like whose fault this is? Fucking Josh McDaniels. It's all his
fault. Oh, I know, man. He went back, and if he wouldn't have left New England, we'd still have Frank Reich.
Because it's not only that, it's the fact that it happened so late. So you kind of had to like stay in house with a candidate, and you hire Mike Groh, and it's like and it's like,
and it was between him and Deuce, and it's like while I love Deuce, he's not like
you don't see him as an OC. Like, no,
he's good where he's at, in my opinion. I think that he's a solid running backs coach. Like, I don't think he's I don't think he's just not that creative of an offensive mind. In today's day and age, you need to be like innovative, and you have to have new ideas. And I don't see that in any of these guys. I mean, Doug, but obviously we're seeing the results this year, and it's disappointing. Yeah.
And kind of like to finish up my thought. So I lean more offense, even saying that because of where the league is right now. I mean, there's no elite defense at the moment. I think the leading points per game in terms of points allowed is Tennessee at like 17, and it's normally the leaders around 11 or 12. So the NFL in general, I mean, we're just seeing points galore. Patrick Mahomes might break Peyton Manning's freaking touchdown record, which is insane.
Crazy.
So it's just it's shenanigans. That some people think that Jim Schwartz should be fired. Are you one of those people?
I don't really have an opinion. I want to see how the defense looks for the rest of the year. I think it's kind of rash to fire him, especially after last year. But I mean, I've been bitching about the same shit since he got here. So he's pretty set in his ways, and that I don't like about him. I don't think he's an elite defensive coordinator. He's pretty good. So that's kind of where I'm at. I want to see how we finish the year up and see how this defense looks. Certainly have the talent to be playing better on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
But like you said, as a whole, they're not giving up a lot of points either. So
it's just it's the worst situational defense like in the
NFL. Oh
like,
my God, yeah.
The fourth quarter is just always abysmal. But here's the thing, like the reason why I also blame the offense more. I think what's going on, because it seems like 75% of Philly's blaming the defense. Here's what's kind of going on. It's like all of the heartbreak has happened on the defensive side of the ball. Yep. All that we remember are the 4th and 15s and the 3rd and 15s. We remember the bad, and because of that, we're blaming the defense. I think, even though I think it's more offense when you really think about it. They're getting off to the slow starts. I mean, when that 3rd and 15 happened, it was 6-3. They only scored 3 points. So
exactly.
It's like the offense isn't exactly putting the defense in good situations either, even though you fucking blew 2 fourth-quarter leads. So it's like there's blame on both sides, but again, I lean more offense.
There is blame on both sides. And I mean, the offense hasn't been able to really sustain too many long drives and then tire the opposing defense out and keep that offense off the field and keep our defense fresh. There's been times where Carson threw that interception to start the game was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah,
and he's had two. He's fumbled.
First half.
Yeah, it was one of the worst halves I've seen him play.
And that to me was disappointing. Like people are saying he wasn't clutch in the fourth quarter. I don't really believe that because if Clement cuts inside, that's a first down, and if Ertz goddamn runs past the sticks on his route, that's a first down. But I look back at the first half. That's what disappointed me. You're coming off a bye. You have to make a statement against the Cowboys, and that's how you come out, Carson. Yeah, that's what I'm disappointed with, and I don't think I'm hearing enough people talk about that.
No, and I mean, you and me both love Carson Wentz, but you can't not criticize the guy. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's going to be great, but he's got to get better in certain areas of the game. In other areas, the fumbles, man. Like there's been too many times where he fumbles the ball.
Part of the coaching too. That's Press Taylor. That's that's the quarterback's coach. You got to be God. What's John Gruden's thing? The pocket monster,
the two-handed monster. I was just gonna say,
two-handed monster.
Yeah,
be the two-handed monster.
Whatever happened to that? I was just gonna bring it up. What happened to the two-handed monster? The guy Gruden was telling him it for a reason. I don't care what kind of a coaching job he's doing.
Yeah,
he was right about that. He saw a weakness in the guy's game, and he told him he had to address it. And I mean, while it's been a consistent theme throughout his career, the first half of the season, I thought it was happening a lot more than I remember. I mean, so it's concerning for sure. I don't think it didn't happen last week, luckily, but that pick was bad, and he missed Alshon Jeffrey open in the end zone. So I mean, he's got some areas to improve, and I would love to see him come out just guns blazing and just going out there and just torching New Orleans defense. Watch that happen. Everybody expects us to get killed, and Carson comes out there and just slays it. That'd be great, but
7 touchdowns.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, I mean it's okay to criticize him, guys. I mean,
he's a football player. He's a quarterback in Philadelphia. What the hell?
People are definitely afraid to go there, though.
Well, he's a golden boy, man. He's a savior. So
yeah. Let's see. I guess we can do score predictions. We're 25 minutes in. I just wanted to get to the 30-minute mark and then cut the show, and that was it. Cut the cord.
Honestly, dude, this season just it makes me upset even talking about it. Like, I wish we were talking about this being a huge game, and then we thought it would be tight, and a typical big game show. But yeah, we've going against the best team in the NFL, and we're the shitty average back to normal Eagles. So, but yeah.
So how bad is your score going to be?
So yeah, all right. So I think we have. I'm giving us a slightly better chance than other people. I think that I'd give it like 15%, maybe 20%. Most people are saying 5%. I think they're going to play okay, but ultimately it's just going to be too much. I got the Saints 37-24.
Okay, all right. I think the spread is 9. If I remember.
Yeah, it went up to 9. Yep.
Okay. Well, I got 31-24 Saints, and I think the Eagles are going to play that slow possession game And I see something like maybe the Eagles even keep it tied after 3 quarters. Maybe it's 17-17. But then that fourth quarter rolls around, and the fourth quarter rolls around, and the defense going to get lit up. So 31-24 I got.
That's yeah, I mean, hey, I got basically them scoring one more TD than you. I think it's going to be closer than my score says.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like.
But I think I agree with you.
I don't think it's going to be like 41-17.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. I think the fourth quarter is where, the team show who they are, as it has been all year with the Eagles.
Yeah.
So it's disappointing season, man. But hey, I hope I'm back here next week, and we're talking about a huge game coming off a win.
Yeah. Actually, there is one thing I forgot to bring up. So since we have 4 more minutes till 30 minutes, I'll bring it up now. This Eagles run defense hasn't been good this year. And I know people bring up the fact that, the yards per game, and I guess they're second or third still, but the yards per carry isn't good. And I know some of it is the quarterbacks, but some of it is also not having Timmy Jernigan. And I was watching the tape. We didn't get to the run defense, Brendan and I, today because we just wound up focusing on Rasul Douglas. But there's a couple situations where that defensive tackle, whether it's Nada or whoever, is not occupying enough blockers. Guys are getting to the second level and getting to the linebackers, and it's been a problem this season for the Birds.
Yeah, I mean, Haloti Nada's really got nothing left.
Yeah, I mean, that's another Howie mistake right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a space eater. I think Howie maybe thought Jernigan would be back a little sooner, and Nada would be an okay number 3, rotating in with those two. You keep him fresh, and he gets like 10 to 20 snaps a game, and you rotate in a couple other dudes. We would have been fine, but Jernigan took this long to get back. I mean, I think he is back this weekend, isn't he? Or he's I think they said he's going to play.
Yeah, let me see.
I mean, if he plays, that would be really nice to see back. To just see how him and Fletcher look next to each other.
Yeah, I'm going to check the injury report. Let's see if the Eagles sent me the injury report yet. I haven't seen the injury report.
I see could play, so he's up in the air.
Okay.
20. That was as of yesterday. Jernigan and Jones could play, and Jones was a full go today. So, I mean, usually Thursdays if you
yeah. You want to see them practicing fully.
Yeah.
All right, I got Thursday's injury report right here. So, yeah, Mills didn't practice. Yeah, if you don't practice Wednesday and Thursday, you're probably not playing in the game. Yeah, I'm not even seeing Sydney on here. I'm just he participated fully, and it was limited Wednesday, so he's going to play. Lane Johnson limited Wednesday and Thursday. To be honest, I'd rather have him not play.
Yeah, he's looked so bad this year. Like he's had to have been playing through an injury all year. Like that's something really. That's
what Brendan thought because of what he was seeing in the Minnesota tape. How they were just easily every move it's the same the way that beat him. You just cut hard inside on him.
Either someone saw something on tape last year or he's hurt, and he's too good of a player. He's been too good for too long. It's got to be an injury.
Yeah. Yeah, Timmy Jernigan, I'm not even seeing him on the injury report.
He might be a full go. I mean, I know he's been practicing for a couple of weeks.
So I guess he might play.
People are talking about moving Lane to left tackle. I'm like, do you really think you can even consider that with his size after how he's played this year? I just don't think
he's more right tackle because he's better at run blocking.
Yeah, and I just don't see moving him left side. You either develop Mailata and then he's ready to go, or you've got to draft one in the first round. I
agree, because the way the game is too. I mean, more defensive ends are rushing from that other side as well. So, like, it's fine to keep them on the right side.
Yeah, it's really not like that whole left and right side as much as it used to be. It's still like the blind side and everything. But I think if we can get Mailata going, man, he'll be great because he's so athletic. I really hope he pans out because I feel a lot of people hated on that pick. I'm like, oh, dude, 7th round pick, who cares? People are like, oh, you could have got him off as a undrafted free agent. I'm just like, dude, this guy's got crazy upside. I don't think he would have been there
as an undrafted.
Yeah, someone would have drafted him.
Clearly, the Eagles knew something that they traded up.
Well, and he's definitely already shown that he's more talented than a 7th round pick. They said before the season started, they said in 4 months, like nobody had seen someone improve so much in 4 months who've never
Yeah.
played football. So all you got to do is get his head game there and get his footwork a little better, and he'll probably be ready to at least be a backup next year, which is huge.
Yeah, I mean that's when you go after a flyer. It's those
Exactly.
I mean, a guy like Brian Mahalik, for example. He was this big athletic guy, and now he's like rotating between defensive tackle and offensive tackle. You look at Alejandro Villanueva.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go.
That's the perfect example there. I mean, there's others. Jason Peters is even an example. So there's a lot of these types, and you got to be able to mold them. And the Eagles, obviously, with Stoutland in there, they can definitely mold some tackles.
Yeah. I'll be excited to see how he develops. He's been dressing, so at least in an emergency situation, they feel comfortable enough. So that's good.
Yep. All right. I think that's about it. We got to the 30-minute mark. We got to 32 minutes, so we're good.
Yeah. All I gotta say is we got Jimmy Butler. That's all I had to say.
Yeah. Butler.
Yeah, that's where my heart's almost turning, man. I'm not giving up on the Birds yet, but when I do, there's at least the Sixers there for us.
Well, I felt like I was watching the Eagles last night with that fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, someone tweeted they're like the Eagle or the Sixers are a defense is getting coached by Jim Schwartz out there or something. I was like that's brutal.
It continues to be Brett Brown with the rotations, and then
we got there's a whole conversation to be had about a lot of things with how this is going to work, but at least we're a better team now than we were last week.
Yeah, I mean it's getting to the point. I'm leaning towards a coaching change, getting there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it would be nice to see a coach put some pressure on Ben Simmons to take a jump shot.
Yeah, I mean I love Brett Brown. He's a super nice guy. I've met him in person. Like honestly, probably the nicest coach you can ever meet.
Yeah,
like because there's coaches that are just complete pricks. And he will take the time to talk to you. Brett Brown is awesome, but he's just not cutting it. But we'll see. We'll give him to the end of the year.
Yep.
So, there we go. All right, we'll get out of here. That's James Worthington. I'm Adrian Fedke. Take care. See ya. Hit the like button. I always forget to do that, but hit the thumbs up. All right. See ya.